Covering is done. Now I need to put on the control horns. I've got my servo screws. These are from 9-gram servos. They work really well. Alright, so next is the push rods. I'm going to cut away the covering over the servos. Okay. Now I know the push rods need to go straight forward. So what I'm going to do is get my straight edge forward. I'm going to go about 3 inches forward of the control horn and just cut a slit in the covering and the foam. Alright, so I've got the goldenrod that I'm going to use for the push rod, and I've got a piece of brass tubing. This one's just a little bit bigger, the same size is ideal. I'm going to take this. I've taken a knife, this helps a little bit, and I'll just scrape that inside there and kind of sharpen that edge. And then I'm going to chuck this in my little drill and find my slit, and I'm going to push that down into the foam even with the push rod, and I want to go down at an angle so this just goes under the spar. And so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to hold that leading edge down so it doesn't move. And I went, about that deep, so I'm maybe a little over halfway to the servo. You don't want to go too much an angle, you don't want to come out the bottom, but I'm just going to try to make it halfway, and then I'm going to go from the servo back the other way, and the two holes will line up together. I got that first part in. I've cleared the foam out of the tubing, and it's not really pushing on the brass tubing. As this starts heating up against the foam, it's just going to kind of melt its way through the foam. So you don't have to do a lot of pressure. You just want to kind of get it spinning against the foam. That'll generate some heat, and then it'll just kind of slide its way right in. It goes in pretty easy. So I'm lined up with the servo. I've got the arm out of the way. And then I'm just going to go straight back at an angle going down. It didn't feel like it broke through. I'm going to put this through and see if it'll go. Nope, I didn't get in far enough. See if I've got those two connected yet. I think I'm close. So the one from the servo looks like it's to the left of this one coming in. So I need to kind of get it over outboard a little bit. And there we go, it's all the way through. The smaller rod's a little easier to put through, so what I'll do is I'll put that in, and then I'll put the bigger one in over the top of it, and then I can pull the small one out. So now what I want to do is I want this blue rod to be about an inch back from where the servo is. So I'm going to pull it to where it's flush. I can just see the end of the rod there, and then I'm going to pull it back about an inch. And then let me grab a clevis. So the clevis is going to go onto that connector. It's going to come up, and so I want maybe 2 inches of this coming out, or maybe an inch forward of the hinge line there. So I'm just going to eyeball that, come up about an inch, make a mark. And then I'll just score this all the way around. and then I can just snap it. So that's in place. I usually will glue this a little bit. I'll do that here. I'll get the other one set up and then I can glue them both in. What I do is just kind of pull that aside, put a little glue in there, and that keeps that from moving. So again, I've got my slot up here. I can see they're connected, but they're just, that rod's not wanting to make it through. Get that rod about there. Pull back about an inch. Make my mark forward about an inch. Glue these in place. All right, now I can start getting my clevises set up. So for the clevis that goes in here, I put that tight against the inner rod there. And then I'll use a pair of needle nose to attach it to the servo. and then get my servo centered. Okay. All right. So elevons are attached. Ready for the receiver. I'll do a little more covering over the servos. I'll put some covering